Hi, how you doing? And welcome back to a video on the channel. What we have for you today is our preview video going into Game Week 13, as well as my team review from Game Week 12 and my thoughts going forward. If you are new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. It is really appreciated, especially as we're a small channel trying to grow. And it is free as well, so if you can help out, that would be great. Whilst you're at it, why not check out our latest wildcard video? It did get a 100% rating on Fantasy Football Hub, so that could help you out with some of your transfers, as well as hopefully this video. So let's get into my team for the game week. And the points are as follows. And it was a fantastic game week for me. I went from just inside the top 50k to just outside the top 10k, which is a personal record for my highest ever rank. A lot of that was down to captaining Haaland, but it was also about having Salah in the team as well. Saka, Diaby, Watkins, and Porro all returned, as did Onana because he kept another clean sheet. But the player of the weekend was Simicas. Clean sheet, 2 assists, absolutely fantastic return. And it does go to show what a difference a week can make because last game week, my rank for the week was 9.4 million out of about 10 million. And then this game week, it's just inside the top 60k for the week. So it does go to show how fast things can change in fantasy league. If you're not having like the best experience at the moment with your rank, just stick with it because you can soon turn it around. And with my rank, I always take it with a pinch of salt because it could change in an instant. And I'm just trying to hang on to it for as long as I can. So let's get the fixtures up on the screen now. And it's a bit of a concerning weekend, I would say, mainly because a lot of my players are actually facing each other in the league. We start off with Man City against Liverpool as a 12:30 kickoff, and usually these games are pretty tight and low scoring, but this has the potential to be high scoring, really. And the fact that I own Haaland and Salah does not bother me at all because they're not really going to take points off each other. Not like if Salah scores, I lose a clean sheet for Man City, and vice versa. You know, it's someone that I think Haaland or Salah could captain. Like, I think you could captain either one of them. I wouldn't necessarily think about captaining anybody else, mainly because a lot of the big teams are playing each other. You've got Newcastle versus Chelsea, Spurs versus Villa. I would even say that like Arsenal and Man United have difficult fixtures, so there's not really a standout option for me. So you might as well go with captaining either Haaland or Salah. For me, I'll be captaining Haaland, and let's take a look how my team looks overall. So like I say, I've got Spurs versus Villa and Liverpool versus Man City, and that takes up 8 of my starting 11 players in 2 matches. So hopefully, if one team beats the other team, I'll get points for those players. If it ends up being like 2-all, hopefully it's like say Son and Watkins or maybe Diaby have contributed some attacking returns. And I think you've just got to ride out game weeks like this. They're going to come round every so often. It's just for a game week. If you can get an okay score and not fall too far behind, I think you just take that and move on. But there's a long way to go. There's international break this week. So you do have that 2 weeks to kind of mess about with your team. Maybe some players will pick up some injuries or something like that, and it will make your decisions for you in terms of who you transfer in and out. For me personally, I've got 2 free transfers and 0.3 million in the bank, which doesn't give me loads of wiggle room, but there are a couple of options that I'm thinking of making. Let's have a look. So my first option for taking out is Pedro Porro. Now, a lot of people are panicking about Son. Should they take him out? Now, Spurs have lost a couple of games. For me, I'm not worried about Son. Like, Spurs are always going to play attacking football. They're going to get chances, and he's the main guy for them. Their upcoming fixtures also don't look that bad from an attacking point of view. I would say all the teams on the list are capable of conceding goals. I would be more concerned about owning a Spurs defender, even someone like Pedro Porro, because of the injuries they've got and the suspensions, kind of affects the spine of the team. And clean sheets are already hard to come by for any Premier League team, really. But when you're playing teams like Villa, Man City, West Ham, and Newcastle, those teams are capable of scoring goals. I would even say Brighton at the end of that fixture run score goals as well. Now, in terms of replacements, I was looking at someone like Van Dijk. We did talk in the wildcard video about how like Liverpool defenders, they're a bit hit and miss depending on selection, but Van Dijk is someone that's always going to play when fit. And after Man City, Liverpool actually have Fulham, Sheffield United, and Palace in the next three, which looks great for a double up. But then the fixtures get a bit tougher, and they play Arsenal twice, I think, over the festive period in January. They play Man United and Chelsea. So it's really to see, whether I get Van Dijk in for the short term and then make another move, or whether I go for somebody else. The problem with Van Dijk is that I don't have the funds, and we'll talk about how I could get the funds in a second. But my main option for getting Pedro Porro or replacing Pedro Porro would be Reece James, someone who's at a similar price and was actually in my team at the start of the season before he got injured. Now, Chelsea's fixtures don't look great on paper for the next three, but Newcastle, Brighton, and Man United, it could be said, are all having a bit of a wobble at the moment. My main issue for Reece James is his minutes. If he gets injured again, I'll just take him out again. But I'm kind of waiting to see whether he's going to get enough minutes. He does have another week, and that's why the international break is coming at a good time for players like this because it gives them an extra chance to get 2 weeks training. So when the next game rolls around, they're a bit more ready than if they'd have had like a European fixture or a midweek game, or they've got another Premier League game the next weekend. So Chelsea's run after that Man United game looks great, and we talked a while ago. It actually takes them up to like February for fantastic fixtures. So if Reece James is playing, he's a great option, and at 4.1% owned, he's a real differential. If I did want to go for someone like Van Dijk, I'd probably take out someone like Diaby. Now, Villa's fixtures look all right, but they are a bit mixed at best. And for me, like I don't really feel comfortable owning a triple Villa going into this game run of games. So Diaby would probably be the one to go, and I'd probably look at bringing in someone like Palmer. He's going to save me 1.7 million at the moment. He's still relatively low owned, and he is also on penalties. Like 5.1 million for a Chelsea midfielder on penalties with that run of fixtures that they're going to get in a few weeks is absolutely fantastic. I know people are sort of saying when Nkunku comes back, like, is he going to take penalties off Palmer? But I feel like if Palmer is scoring penalties, there's not really a reason to take him off it. If he started missing a couple, then you could maybe look at that. But it's a bit like, when people say, oh, what if Haaland gets rotated? And it's like, well, he never really does get rotated. And it's kind of like, well, if it doesn't happen, then it's not really an issue. Once it starts happening, then you react. So yeah, that's kind of my transfer thoughts at the moment. But let me know what you think. Is there anyone else you would swap out, or anyone else you would get in? Let me know what you think in the comments. Please do like and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Good luck in this game week as well. Think if you're wildcarding, maybe click that wildcard button and sort your team out sooner rather than later, just to avoid any price rise and falls. If you're making the odd transfer, I'd be more than fine just to leave it until you get closer to the deadline. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.